Good morning and welcome back to New Laws You May Not Know Your State Passed This Year, Michigan edition. Most of these laws will have been implemented either in this year or are about to be implemented in 2025. Remember, if you like this content, please repost and share with as many people as possible, especially if you know folks in the state that this video is about. And if you want me to do your state next or another state, drop it in the comments and I'll make sure you get added to the list. So coming up in early 2025, there will be a couple new labor laws that are being implemented. So the first is paid sick time. That's going to be the new law of the land. So all employers with at least one employee must pay for their employee to have sick time. And this time will be earned at a minimum of 1 hour of sick time for every 30 hours worked. There is, if you have unused time, it will be allowed to be carried over year to year, and it will be without any cap on it. So it allows you to save up for those rainy days. January 1st through February 21st of this coming year, there is going to be an increase to the minimum wage. So from January to February, it's going to increase from $10.33 an hour to $10.56 an hour. And then on February 21st, it will go up to $12.48 an hour. But that's not for everyone. Minors under the age of 18 will be paid 85% of whatever the minimum wage is. And for those of you who are 20 years of age or younger, you can be paid what's called a training wage. This is bullshit, by the way, of only $4.25 an hour for your first 90 days of employment. But starting in October of 2028, the state treasurer will calculate an adjusted minimum wage rate increase based on the rate of inflation. So that adjusted rate must be publicized by November 1st and then would become effective in February 21st of the following year. So these next couple things went into effect this year, but you may not have known about them. If you are less than 200 feet behind a snowplow that's doing its business, you can now be fined up to $100. The Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act was expanded to include protections against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity around employment and housing. So you can't be unfairly fired or evicted just because you identify as a different sexual orientation or gender. Good news this year for workers in Michigan. Michigan repealed the right to work law and then reinstated the prevailing wage law. So the prevailing wage law basically means that any state construction job must pay union level pay and benefits. So well done, Michigan. Public Act 17 and 16 were about pew-pews. 16 says that if your pew-pews aren't locked up and a minor is seen in possession in public, that owner of that pew-pew would be given a misdemeanor with up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. And punishment goes up if the minor discharges the firearm and harms themselves or others, with jail and fines leading up to 15 years and $10,000. And then finally, Public Act 17, which went into effect this year, required all pew-pews to be unloaded and locked if minors are on the premise. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and comment. Have a great day.